Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. Please don't mind the lights. The light is much here. So, if you're seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Ayo. I make videos from Ibadan, your state, Nigeria. I make videos about fatherhood, relationship, family life. I create vlogs, and most recently, I started creating video about real estate. So, if you want to see any of them, I give you the permission to go down to my channel and search and see anyone that suits you. In this video, I'm going to be speaking with, I don't know how to, define him now. Should I call him a friend? In this video, I'm going to be speaking with Mr. Eddie. So, I met Mr. Eddie on television. Yes, I met Mr. Eddie on television. I used to host a breakfast show on the Nigerian television, and Mr. Eddie happens to be one of our favorite caller at the time, and he shared a few things with me later on about his life. He shared a few things with me about infertility, the things that the issues he had at the time. And so in this video, I'm going to be having this conversation with Mr. Eddie, and I want you to come along with me. Let's go. Story. I believe your story will encourage encourage a lot of people, encourage a lot of men. If I may ask, how long did it take you to wait?
It took me 14 years.
Wow, that's a lot. 14 years.
14 plus, because if I'll go by the month, I got married in May 20th officially. 20th of May 2006. So our fruit of womb, or blessing of the womb from God, came on the 1st of June 2020.
Wow.
So if I will calculate that, that's 14 years.
14 years. That's a lot. You're a very strong man. Walk me through your process. What were the things, what were the things that went through all along? How did you handle that, the moment of that 14 years of your life? How did you handle that? Walk me through it.
14 years of my life, this wilderness it's more like a wilderness. Those 14 years was terrific, was challenging, depressing, most times annoying and offending. But all of this put together, I don't have anybody to blame for that. Not even my spouse, as the case may be in certain homes. Because people tend to look for faults whenever issues are coming up, or whenever issues comes up like that. What actually helped me, even though I know it wasn't easy, is that you came to studio, or you came to work this morning, right?
Yeah.
And you have a plan or a target or a purpose of coming to work. And because of you want to achieve what you are coming to do at work, any obstacle that may want to raise its ugly head, you wouldn't want to give in to that. Your aim, your target is to get to work and get this done. Aside the pay, because sometimes we'll lose it when we are concerned about our gains. My marriage consummation was not basically on procreation. I needed a partner. I needed a companion from God. And because of that, I'm not a religious person, so that somebody don't begin to
they tag it to religion.
I'm talking more of religion, but that is how I am wired.
Mr. Eddie, so that means if you did not have a child, eventually you will not mind.
That is what I'm trying to arrive at, because though it takes me time to explain to you, but to make it easier for us and for time's sake, if I never had a child, it won't be a problem or a challenge to me. And if I don't, that I use the word never, if I never had, and that point in time that I didn't have, it wasn't a challenge, it wasn't a problem for me. The only depressing, annoying, offending I was trying to say here is because of my partner, my wife, and pressure from family of mine and hers. So let me know I'm an easygoing person. When you hear easygoing, that is who I am. That is how I am. So the child was not the in thing. And funny enough, my wife was not my friend. I never dated her. I met with her in the estate where I live in Abuja, because I got into Abuja in 2005. I met her in 2005. Just I knew her. I used to see her. And the first day I put her someone courage, I just told her that I want to get married to you. I want to marry you. It's not the time that you have come there, you have not even spent a day or an hour with. He just told you this. So she was like, she had had that over time, a couple of times. Maybe that's my own code to maybe. But be it as it may, within 2 months of knowing her, I was able to do the needful. I was able to do the needful. Within 2 months, no dating, no courtship, no trying to find out whether even like me, I'm from a different region, she's from a different region, different ethnic nomenclature. I was like, people were like, are you serious? That's it. And when when the situation starts raising its ugly head, people will begin to tell you, do finding, you just see woman, you pretty, this, that, you go marry. I said, well, that's for you guys. So the child was not an issue, and I never bothered myself about it. And God, if I wouldn't use God's time, because I don't even know the time, who created time is God. But when it pleased God, He made it come.
He made it possible.
But the truth of the matter is that it wasn't that for 14 years we never had experience of pregnancy or my wife trying to get not even discouraged, stillbirth 3 good times.
Wow.
Stillbirth as my wife going to theater, going to labor room, will come out alone. The baby will go.
I remember that the one I knew was, I think, the last one before you eventually had your child, and that was the one you shared with me on Facebook. I remember.
Okay, the one in 2019.
Yes, I guess. Yes, I think you shared that with me.
That was more of miscarriage kind of, because that was week 22. So the doctor start blame game. They're supposed to put a saccade, whatever, stitch the womb. There won't be, since we've had issues in the time, but that's by the way. So 3 good times. If my wife conceived after some months, we lose the pregnancy, that's a different thing. But when your mind is made up
already,
friends, because there is something you don't hide. Like there's a proverb saying in my place, even woman denying everything we give, and she no go deny pregnancy.
No, it's not.
So so everybody will see, thank God they did after. So the first conception came after 9 years. That was in 2015.
Like for the first time after 9 years.
After 9 years, yes, wow. For the first time after 9 years, and that was in 2015. So she was into labor. I took her to the hospital where we registered for antenatal. Because of the doctor's inexperience and negligence, they said it's not labor, we should go back. When water break, we see she'll make her bring her back.
Now, I believe that you mentioned family pressure all through this period. Family pressure was there, even if you and your wife were cool after all. So how did you guys deal with the family pressure? Personally from your end, were you getting pressure from your family? How did you deal with it? Were there times that you thought about maybe marrying another woman? Were there times that she also thought, maybe this marriage is not for me, maybe I just marry another man? How did you guys deal with the pressure?
That's a good question. The family pressure on my part, firstly, before her part, was more. Because given to the fact that I'm from a family of 9, 4 male and 5 female, and I'm the last born of them all. and everybody, apart from our late parents, were just on me because I'm just like their golden child. They don't want to joke with me, and coupled with the fact that I'm a very lively person, everybody just want Eddie around him. So what is the problem with Eddie? By the time, over time, they do have family meetings on my matter.
Wow.
So family pressure was more like, I will tell you, on 3 occasions I can remember, I turned down marriage offer or virtues from family, my older siblings, the female especially,
to marry someone else.
Arrange with again, not even marry someone, as if they've concluded the deal. And there was one question I asked one of those ladies. She's married now, still keep communication with her. And she's, in fact, she was so happy for me. She said she like people like that are like me, that have mind of their own, that know what they want and can always be truthful to themselves and other people. I asked her, what is the possibility that you have child in your womb, or you are the one bringing forth a child to me? You are the one giving me a child. Is it because of, I'm not rich, but by a special grace of God, I'm comfortable. At least where my next meal is going to come from won't be a challenge. Based on my efforts and God's grace that is upon my life. So I asked her this question. I say, I don't want to mention names so that she will, although if she's watching or anytime she comes across this, she will know she's the one. She was like, in their family, the mother gave birth to, in fact, she's a twin.
Okay.
Even quadruplets, and the issue of barrenness or childlessness is never known in her family. So that is a guarantee for me. And she's saying that why her own case is special, because the way I went into the way she analyzed it, and there is nothing stopping her that she's not coming forth with triplets or quadruplets. The thing is that I should just be able to enlarge my course to contain. I said, okay, that's interesting. So after much, I called my sister, my elder sibling. I said, this is no go work. He said, why? Why am I this stubborn? They know that I'm stubborn. Why am I making them a laughing stock? Each time they are in the committee of other families, everybody, grandchildren, because I'm the only one missing. It happened up to the extent my late father's property, because by God's special grace, he was able to acquire things. During the inheritance, whatever sharing, because he didn't prepare a will and all of that.
Okay.
I was shot by my older siblings, my elder brother, 3 other ones. Because when they like one to shout, I did not get picking now, and this one be this, now this one.
Wow.
So you can do extent of relation, but
it was that bad.
Ross, to cry is an understatement, but I would like, when they say, that's always they say when men cry, they cry in their hearts, not the physical tears, because it was more of a mockery. So my family, they tried the best they can to make sure I'm married, because in the first place, my elder brother that was supposed to be my father, who played the father figure role in my family, did not support my marriage. Sorry to say this on air, but we have to say this because we have to put a stop to this because of our African background or our understanding. He didn't support me, and his reason, he didn't support my marriage, and his reason was that I'm getting married to an Hausa person, because my wife is from the northern region, Plateau State to be precise, while I'm from the south side. They had that can't go work. Say, I just come Abuja, don't know what I see for Hausa girl or Fulani girl that you go marry. I say, but this is where family. If it's the Hausa girl, I'm the one that will stay with the Hausa girl.
That's right.
And to special grace of God, 20th of this month, we mark our 15 years of marriage.
Wow.
So in this long period of time, the same staff that was rejected or whatever, I've never gone to any one of them to seek counsel or ask otherwise. Even them that even marry within our clan, within our community,
they have issues.
And they are older, so it's just God. So the pressure was much, but I tried as much as I can, because this is a lady I walked up to, because our word should be our bond. Because she didn't lure me, she didn't woo me. She wasn't like I was knowing her and all of she wanted, or she was desperate. No, my wife should be in her early 20s when I saw her in that 2006. She should be in her early 20s. So for me, talking to her, telling her, talking marriage, and she even decided to she want to give me a try. Now, midway because of child. And again, why I didn't give it to family pressure was that medically, God have created us, but science is there to correct any abnormality.
That's right.
That is ugly head. My wife's inability to bear child then or to conceive then wasn't because she was having any issue with her system. And me, it wasn't because doctors, a whole lot of doctors or labs used me for experiments so many times. Culture analysis, you do this, you drink this. At the end of the day, we'll do everything and then we'll still go back to get clean bill of health. Then where is it coming from? Fine. Then when this start happening now, and I know this is not ordinary. That's when you have to be prayerful. That you have to know, look, fight this battle. You just have to take it by yourself. And the most interesting thing, the child that came forth, her name is Treasure. Wasn't IVF forever. It's natural conception. When after that last one I shared with you, I almost gave up. I said, let me not be stressing this woman, even me. So went for adoption. And the person, it's more like, it's not really adoption per se because it's my wife's niece, her only brother's daughter. She was giving birth in my house, in my hands. So my wife carried her. So she's the child my wife used to. So everybody that know us were like, thank God when I don't get child. But I didn't need to, because she had that striking semblance with my wife. You will never see her not believe that not my biological daughter. And this God has a way of doing things. He made that child to see me, recognize me as a daddy.
As a father.
The biological dad, she will not want to call them dad. It's me that that even when they want to say me and big daddy, say no. I'm the one. She should be going for. She will be 4 years by September. She's 3 years plus now. Now this girl, anytime you see her, I'm so bond with her that people won't believe that. So those family pressure, I begin to drop them. So you bring this lady, transport them like a cargo to come to Abuja to come and meet with me. It's more like a humiliation to my wife. And she has to stay in George. So when those things come, I was like, I'm just trying to respect whoever that sent you. But for now, I'll put a stop to it. If you come today after 2 or 3 days, you just have to go back. So I will get back to you, whoever that sent you or your family. That was how it is. Then I also take this word, Maggie. I also have to relate and communicate to my wife whatever that is going on.
That's right.
I'm not happy that she don't begin to feel otherwise. No. As big as Abuja is, men, mostly married men, are the endangered species when it comes to this kind of immoral life, and when ladies want to good diggers or whatever that wants to hook up, especially when they know that you are okay, you are living in a good place, you have at least something to, or they just want to tie it to something. So I never tried all of that. So my wife, for once again, that one other thing that helped me is the trust. My wife trust. She so much trusted me. I told you I went clubbing last night. I came in early hours of this month, but the clubbing is meeting after one business successful meeting. We'll see people say, well, my friends were like, but I didn't want to do any cheating. You understand? So I came back, and that is how it's supposed to be. So she so much trusted me that she wasn't nosy, planting people around me, this man or whatever. Though on her own too, when this happened, God finally answered us. Her people more of praises on me, shouting praises. They never see man like me, and they say that is not the truth.
I mean, I waited for 14 years.
It's credit to is the woman. They were like, Bawuna, how manage? How can this person will know that you have sustained, you have done the sense? Because she gave me enabling environment to try to be able to achieve this. So my family, I've tried as much as I can to place them on hold and make them to understand this is my marriage. This is my union, not our. Forget that African word they do say our wife. This is not our wife.
It's not our wife, it's my wife.
My wife. So whether anything is going wrong or something is going right, it's me. And because of that, and over times, even when she was in University of Abuja, I tried to figure out certain things, because let me not put just at the end of the day somebody I'm believing, I'm trusting, or I'm loving is not loving, or I'm not getting back. No, I tried several times to kind of try some certain things with my wife to know whether she's actually the person I know or what she stands for. And that is who she is. So that gave me enough boost or
to be able to hold on,
to trust her. And that made it, I decreed that in my heart. I say, if I will ever want to have a child, it must be with you. And if I will not, let it be.
Then never. You know, Mr. Eddie, let me ask you this question here. I know you mentioned that you ran a few tests, you know, because at that point, it's only very important, as much as you prayed at the time, you must also want to check some medical things. And, you know, we've heard so many things about, you know, medical reasons. Can you share some of the medical, you know, things that you did, how challenging they were? Because when people talk now, they just throw it at people and say barren people, and they don't know what these people are going through mentally. And apart from even mental pressure, the medical examination, how tasking or how painful they can be. Can you mention some of these, you know, medical things that you did at the time that probably got to you? You know, maybe it was painful, maybe it was emotional. I would like to hear.
Yeah, it dawned on me that I ought to go for medical examination sometime in 2008.
That's how many years? How many years after?
2 years after the marriage, 2008.
Okay.
So it dawned on me that you have to take steps. The step is medical, and it was a friend of mine, that introduced me to a gynecologist. I should go and check, because people were like, and then I was more like, I don't want to have a child yet, because I had a stint outside the country. I got in 2005. I'm still having planned to go back because of the economic situation. So I was more concerned about traveling back, going back, traveling outside the country again. Okay. So, but now, and I paid attention. The rigors, it was very rigorous. The challenges I went through is, number one, do you know when you are being diagnosed of, in fact, you know, it's more like mockery, because it takes somebody, it takes courage for you to even say, let me go and do this. Do you know when somebody says somebody is impotent, or you are being alleged or suspected to be impotent? And the word impotency may not be your making. It could be medical, maybe infection that you couldn't treat properly, just like the other lady I was trying to explain to you, that told me that twins, quadruplet and whatever runs in her family. And me too, in my family, nobody is barren, nobody is impotent. All my siblings have their kids. Everybody have offspring. They have something to show for their marriage. I was doing that the case. So, and I said, let me take this step, because truth of the matter is that I wasn't a quiet or cool guy. I lived a rough life. Rough life in the sense, even before we start knowing what HIV is, all that, there are shitty things we used to do basically, whether in school and all of that, with reckless abandon. And we never knew what it was. So just like the Job issue, each time you go to sacrifice, you say probably the children, you never knew when they went out last night clubbing, whether they did so and so thing, you have to go and appease God and all that. So in my case, I say, while I was doing all of this, maybe things could have gone wrong, let me yield. So I will take me through sperm count, take my blood sample, do a whole test. When it comes out, I think at a point it was an issue, watery sperm kind of, which is not normal. They have to place you on medication, and those medications are not funny. Things you have to eat, things you don't have to eat, things you have to abstain from, places you don't have to be, and all of that. So it was very, very tasking. But because of I knew what I was looking for, I have to, because I didn't want to put it on my wife, the blame. In our African, the ego we have, African setting, is a man's word. Whenever a situation like this happens, it's the woman that is at fault. Even you will not acknowledge the truth.
That you are the one at fault or something. Yeah.
For men, as we speak now, maybe they have that issue of watery sperms, and each time they met with the woman, maybe after a while, the woman stands up, everything just throw out and all of that from her private part. You will not want to go and take correct. It was happening to me at that point in time. Of ignorance, we didn't know, we didn't get the knowledge. And when I met with a guy now, I was diagnosed and treated on this. Mind you, I told you about 2008.
That's right.
All through 2009, I was still doing most of those medication. In fact, at a point, concussion too. You think they mix this, they mix that. You put drink this, that one. Whenever you are done with any illness, you are ill or whatever, any medication they say you should, you have to do it because
you just have to take it. You don't know which will work.
You understand? So, in fact, there are so many things I detest to do, especially garlic. I don't even like garlic. I cook very well. I'm good in cooking, but every of my culinary whatever skill, I hardly add garlic. Whenever I buy garlic, I will go up. But then you see garlic, everything will come. I will close. Sometimes I will want to close my drink. So I went through a lot. Then after all said and done, maybe 1 or 2 years we're supposed to take care. Then in my wife's own case, it wasn't. Mine might be easier, but these women go through.
Okay.
The ECG may not be able to, except if I go to get a final to begin to tell you all those ones they need to treat your womb. In fact, do you know at a point, somebody advised us to try the traditional way. In our Calabari setting, there's we call Nene is more like a granny, grandmother, an elderly person. So they will tell you that Nenes are the people that wash your wife's womb.
Wash the womb.
I don't know the womb, whether you want to use sponge and soap and all of that to wash the womb. He will go. Then we have to travel to Port Harcourt to go and meet one. After all that, I saw how they do it, because for anything I'm doing with my wife,
you have to
I always want to witness. I'm not this kind of person you go to, even when that washing of womb, or maybe she's with a guy or whatever, counseling her or telling her, I will be there to know what is going on. I dare not take my wife to hospital, or even like my child is now. You say, doctor, it's a no, I will be there, let me know. I want to see, I do on the ground. So the Nene, what they call washing of womb is nothing other than some concoction they will give you, drink. They will begin to massage womb, do all of that. We did all of that. After 3 or 4 days, we left the woman's place, we came back, nothing. Till, like I told you, 2015. So the test, or what I went through, wasn't funny. It wasn't funny because for the fact that it's tasking money, financially. You understand? It's not those. There is some tests we are then running that they will take one lab in Abuja here. They will take the sample to South Africa because of equipment. They will take the samples to South Africa to go. I don't know how they do that, but they will tell you that this is a lab and is a very expensive lab, because the doctors are the one that will refer you to go and run a particular test, and you have to comply. You have to obey them or listen to them because you want results. So the tests were not funny, but by God's grace, it yielded fruit, because I knew the time I had low sperm count, I treated that. Still, the child wasn't forthcoming. I was like, okay, should be then sent at the low sperm count. Because do you know one of these? I'm sorry to say this on air, but we're all matured people.
Absolutely.
Most times we want to run these tests, especially that cultural analysis or whatever they call it. For you to even get your semen out is not funny. When you are not, your mind is not there.
Absolutely.
You can want to see, the doctor said you have to produce, and you need to produce a particular quantity, and it will be a particular for a time. Sometimes I even want to say, can I go to my house and do it and return? They say no. You have to be within because we needed it to do what we want to do, because if you go after a while, it will be of no value again. Now you begin to think, maybe then I'm thinking of money I don't have, or things I need to meet up with. Somebody telling me to produce a semen that is far from, just like telling me to come to Badon now and trek.
As you can imagine. But at that kind of point, would your wife be there with you, or you are going to be there alone?
Your wife will be there with you. That is why everything we are doing in life needs cooperation, because in most cases, like I told you, if my wife is being go in for counseling, I'll follow her. If I'm going, she will follow me. She wasn't inquisitive or whatever, but I'll try to do that. But at the point, we feel like, can we meet? Maybe at the point of trying to produce or discharge, they said no, there shouldn't be anything of such nature. Wow. So she will be there with me, be encouraging me. At the point, we'll be making.
That's practically masturbation.
Of course, you have to. And you know, masturbation is cool when your mind is in it. You want to do it. You are in for that. So even your wife you are looking at after how many years, this one said never give me picking. Will make you ready to do. You're going to invest yourself. So you will now begin to wonder. Your mind will be going through: should I go to a strip club, or begin to imagine a picture of somebody if I want to do this? So. Wow.